wanted to start learning how to surf because my partner at the time was a surfer, and so I would always go with him to the beach and watch him surf from the beach or from the car, and I was tired of just sitting there and I wanted to get out there with him. I waited until we took a trip to Puerto Escondido in Oaxaca to take my first surf lesson, and the water was warm, the weather was warm, and I was hooked. Some of my favorite surf spots in San Diego are Grandview Beach, also San Onofre, super fun. And then in LA I really love Topanga and Malibu. Surfing makes me feel free and powerful. The way I work is I am always thinking about things or worrying about things or planning things, and so I love how when I'm surfing a wave my mind is completely blank and I feel so present. It makes me feel centered and grounded and connected to nature and the ocean, my ancestors, so many good things. So I have a few surfing goals. One is I am on my 5'8" shortboard. I want to learn how to do cutbacks and like hit the lip and make it spray. I also want to get better at teaching other people how to surf. I haven't quite figured that out yet, and I really just want to be able to share the love of surfing with others and get good at teaching. And some dream travel spots are, I'm half Filipina and I really want to go back to the Philippines now that I know how to surf and surf it. So I really want to go to Surigao and surf it.
We both share the same birthday, so we actually hired a trainer. It was a present actually from my dad to start surfing in Greene Beach. And we just rode like 11-foot surfboards and just kind of went from there.
We both got started surfing 11 years ago, right after I got married actually. I've always loved the ocean, I've loved bodyboarding, boogie boarding, but I just wasn't ready to try to learn something new. But as Stephen said, my wife bought us a lesson, and that was it. You know, we got a local surf instructor to show us how to do it, and I was hooked right from that first day.
My favorite spot is Doheny Beach. We started practicing there with the instructor, and after that we definitely started just doing it on our own and got our own boards. It's a little crowded sometimes, but it's still one of the best spots, being closely resembling Waikiki.
My favorite surf spot is my home surf spot. So Doheny, I live a couple blocks away, and as Stephen said, I learned there, and then I got better there because I would walk down as much as I could and just practice and surf. And but beyond that, there's so many great surf spots down the coast. So we go down to San Onofre. I like the San Onofre State Beach, which has a bunch of great breaks. And then in San Onofre, there's even some trails where you can walk down a trail and find a more secluded spot.
Yeah.
And most recently, I went camping up near Malibu, and I happened upon a place called County Line, which was a really cool, apparently a pretty well-known surf break. And I just happened to drive by and say, that looks like a good place. It was really cold, but it was a great time. I really enjoyed surfing there, and that's probably it. You know, mostly California so far.
Yeah, I mean, San Alejo is one of the greater spots too, and San Onofre, like you said, are one of the great still on board spots. There's not a lot of people, it's very spread out. When I go out there, it definitely makes me feel a little more calm and relaxed. When I got a lot of stress going on, a lot of things going on in my life, I definitely like to go out surfing, and it just kind of cleanses the mind. And it sounds very spiritual or something, but it's definitely not at all.
No, I mean, if I had to describe how surfing makes me feel, it's tranquil. You know, no matter how I feel when I go in, when I go out there, you know, if I have any like sadness or stress or just feeling worked up by the whole world, you float out there on the water, you watch the birds fly by, maybe some dolphins or sea turtle, and it's just hard to feel anything but just happiness. And I'd have to say surfing is not almost a religion for me. I don't really like subscribe to any other religion, so it gives me like a meditative quality. It gives me a connection to the greater world. You know, I'm just a little speck, you know, on the huge ocean.
I feel like a lot of the goals on surfing is trying to do like back and forth, like a little more control on the board. I definitely kind of like to go straight a lot. But in terms of like where I want to go travel, I'd say like Hawaii down in Waikiki is one of like the top spots. But also maybe Australia and Mexico. Mexico has lots of water, so yeah, some of those spots.
Yeah, I would say the first goal is to always get better. I'd love to learn how to nose ride.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like so much fun to ride out there on the night. You know, I think I could do it. And then, you know, I showed myself that I could learn to longboard surf late in life. So maybe I want to try shortboard surfing.
Yeah.
And like Steven said, I mean, Mexico is just Baja, California is right around the corner. So that'd be a great place to go, and I've got a cool van for bringing down there and go camping and surfing, and then maybe some other places like, you know, Hawaii, and warmer water. I'd love to just surf in just my bathing suit. I'm always so cold, even here in Southern California. So I'd love to go to some warm water surfing.
I started as a freshman in college. I grew up on the East Coast, snowboarding and skateboarding a lot. And then when I went to college, I was at USC, and so kind of like a lack of snow, but there's a bunch of waves, so I just kind of switched from snowboarding. I was like, I'll start surfing. I joined like the surf club they had there, met a bunch of people who like drove me to the beach, and I just like hitch rides and borrow boards. I like Blackies because it's super mellow and it's closest to my house, so you know, after work I can just kind of get here in like 10-ish minutes, and I don't know, the waves are usually like really not good, but it's fun to just get out, get wet after work. Down in San Diego, I really like surfing pipes in like North County, and then PB Cove / PB Point down in Pacific Beach. That's where like my friends in San Diego usually go, so I have good memories there. It's kind of like a mixture of like excited and calm at the same time. After the session, when it's like really good, you're just like super stoked, and you're like, oh yeah, like that was super fun, that was a blast, but you're also just like, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling grateful, and had a good surf. It's also a workout, good to clear your mind. It's kind of like pressing a reset button on your mood and your mind. Goals for surfing? Honestly, probably just be able to continue to do it. I had a back injury from surfing, and then had like a small procedure on my spine, but that didn't do anything, so then I had like a major procedure on my spine, and then now I'm back to surfing. Honestly, the main goal is just keep my body healthy enough where I can do it and stay injury free. Just, I don't know, get better, more consistent, learn new maneuvers, stuff like that, but the main goal is just to be able to be out there.
I started surfing when I was about 9 or 10 years old. I moved around a lot as a kid. I came to San Clemente in 2009, and I think my grandparents started bringing me down to the beach quite a bit, and I started seeing skimboarders and surfers do their thing. And at the time I wasn't really into team sports. I didn't like baseball, or football, or any of that. I saw surfing as a way to really identify myself and to find a fun activity that I could do with my free time. Throughout my journey in surfing, I've had the pleasure of traveling all along the West Coast, surfing in Oregon, surfed in Mexico, Hawaii, but nothing beats this break right here, San Onofre, because of the history and the community that it provides. Surfing always makes me feel like a kid again. You know, I'm getting older, I'm 21 now, turning 22 soon, and I don't know how many years left I'll have with surfing, hopefully 50, hopefully 100. Every time I go surfing, even if the waves are 2 to 3 foot or 6 to 8 foot, I still get that sense of nostalgia and excitement as I'm driving down the I-5 South heading for San Onofre. It's unimaginable, the feeling. Surfing goes hand in hand with my passion as a storyteller and as a filmmaker. And I think every time when I'm out surfing, there's always stories to tell, and every wave I ride is like telling a quick little story. So I hope that I can take surfing and my career of filmmaking together to travel around the world, explore new spots, tell new stories, such as the story here of San Onofre, which is a film I'm working on.
My advice for anyone who wants to learn how to surf is to find a surf buddy or a surf crew who like really sees you and understands your experience and can support you out there, because it's really a vulnerable experience to learn surfing. So if you have people that you trust around you that can help you, it's also helpful if you surf with someone who is more experienced than you. So there's a lot of nuances in surfing as far as like etiquette and safety and reading the waves. So if you have someone who kind of already knows that stuff and can teach you, that's really helpful. And also, like, have fun, be joyful, take up space, yeah, enjoy the ocean and its gifts.
When you're learning, I feel like the most important thing to learn is definitely studying the waves and learning how they react, and because it's all natural, so you're not just going down a hill, you're kind of trying to get the perfect kind of arch or something on the waves. So you definitely have to kind of sit on your board, look at other people and how they surf and how they catch the waves. And just honestly practice at home too. Like if you start just trying your pop-ups and just doing the burpees at home, you'll definitely like get your mind will kind of get set to one way, and then you can just do that on your board. On the water.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a beginner, so my biggest tips as I learn is you know, studying the waves, figuring out how each wave breaks, and I felt like my biggest trick was to paddle just a little bit further. I would stop paddling, and the wave would just swing, just go right past me, and I just needed to do like 2, 3, 4 more paddles, and then the wave would pick me up, and I could actually surf. So those are my, you know, just keep trying.
Yeah.
And like Steven said, be aware of the other people. You don't want to make anybody mad at you. You drop in on them. So learn the etiquette, or just pay attention, and you'll figure out the etiquette.
Yeah, look down the line when you're trying to catch a wave. Make sure there's no one left or right of you.
I would say give it time, be humble with the ocean, go as often as you can. Definitely get like some friends to join you. I feel like people always surf better when they're around their friends and surfing with them, and there's that like positive attitude in the water.
Anyone wants to learn how to surf, there's no better time than now. Surfing is blowing up like never before. There's wave pools in all parts of the country and all parts of the world. Now you can surf in Texas, you're going to be able to surf in Ohio, wherever you want to surf, there will be a wave for you. And it's a really accepting sport. Don't listen to all the stigma that it's about locals only, or if you don't live here, don't surf here. I like to think that I make a pretty good surf teacher. I've been able to teach a lot of my friends how to surf from nothing, and you know, it takes patience, it takes time. Don't expect to get it overnight, but it's rewarding when you catch that wave.